Early voting continuing this week for the November 4th election. Joining me in studio to talk about his campaign for High Plains Water District Precinct 1, Dan Seale in studio. Dan, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Well, thanks for coming in today. Tell folks a little bit about yourself and why you decided to run for High Plains Water District.
Well, Chad, I have some experience. I worked at the Water District for nearly 43 years. I retired in July of 2011. I'd planned on working a little longer, but I saw what was happening, what was coming down the pipe, and I didn't like it. The metering things that they had proposed, in which they did pass, and that type of thing. And after that happened, I had lots of people starting to call me, saying, Dan, we need some common sense on there. We need someone that will stand up for us instead of just bowing down to Austin. Mm-hmm. And so took a lot of pressuring, but I'd promised my wife many years ago when I ran for school board, the only thing I'd ever run for again would be the county line with the sheriff in hot pursuit. One morning I woke up and I told her, I said, I had a dream the sheriff was chasing me. So then I went and filed for this office. Been very positive. Have found a lot of people out there that are saying, you're speaking what needs to be spoke. You're for our water rights. I just tell them, all I can tell you is I will give you my word. I will never vote to restrict your water rights. And that's all I can do. And a vote for me is a vote for your water rights.
For people who maybe they haven't voted yet, or they're planning on going and voting this week, or they're going to wait until Election Day, this is one of those races that no one's talking about. No one outside of the candidates really talking about this race because it's overshadowed by the big statewide races that we have going on. Tell folks out there why not only should it matter to those who are in ag and those who are farmers, but also to the person on 50th Street. You know, why does it matter to them?
Well, the thing about it is, Chad, in my own personal opinion, I believe that this is going to be one of the most important races in the Water District history. I really do, because it's time that the board stand up to Austin and tell them to get out. In September, the board passed another little rule covering exempt wells. An exempt well is one that produces less than 17.5 gallons per minute or less. That's your domestic wells. The person living here inside the city limits now, they have to, before they even drill a well, they have to register the site. It's easy and simple. You do all of the work, you pay them $100, and it's registered. What does that get you? In case someone wants to drill a permitted well too close to your well, they have to back off of that. Other than that, nothing. Your neighbor can drill one right next to it, and it does not offer you any protection whatsoever. Exempt wells, non-permitted, the non-permitted wells, whenever I started there, anything less than 69 gallons a minute was exempt. They lowered that to 25, 17 and a half. What is that showing that's coming? Mm-hmm. They are going to register every well in the district. Now, you say you're a rancher out there, you're going to drill a windmill for your stock. But you know that now you have to register that site, and it says that you must register it. But they say that, well, prior to August 12th, 2014, wells that were drilled before that may be registered. But that's in direct conflict with their rules that was passed in 2011, which said that all exempt wells shall, it doesn't say maybe, or we will overlook it or whatever, it says shall be registered. This needs to be cleaned up. My own personal opinion, you should not have to register an exempt well or anything like that. Money grab, that's what it's been called by some people. How many domestic wells are there in the 16 county area that the Water District has? Bunches. bunches of it. The water district last year, at the end of December the 31st, and this is coming from the actuarial, the auditor's report. Last year, when the water district did raise the tax rate just a little bit, it's the least amount on your tax bill. Mine at the house was about $8. They raised it just a hair bit, not very much. But now you ready for this? It says here the district's combined net position at December 31st, 2013 was $7,531,100. What do they need that kind of money sitting in the bank for? They don't. We need someone there that'll keep a close eye on how that money's being spent. I'm that person.
Visiting with Dan Seale, running for High Plains Water District Precinct 1. Between you and your opponent, and this is something that I asked him about. I asked you the same thing. Even during the primary process, when people were talking about private property rights, when people were talking about water rights, everyone said they were for local control. But that meant something different, it seemed like, for a lot of different candidates. Local control meant it rests in Austin for local control. Local control then meant, for others, it remains with High Plains Water District. For others, it would mean local control, or control of your water means it's your water, you can use it however you see fit if it's on your land. Where are you at? Who owns the water, and how much should they be able to use?
Chad, you see this bottle of water?
Yep.
That's my bottle of water, isn't it? I brought it in here. I bought it. It's mine. No one should be able to tell me I can open that bottle or I can't open that bottle. No one should be able to tell me I can take one drink out of this bottle or drink the whole bottle if I want to. These farmers and you, and the people inside the city limit, when you bought your property, you bought the water. Now, they say that, well, we need to have local control. That's what we got back in the 50s with the water district. And what the water district did for 50 years worked great. It really did. Then what happens? Some of this stuff, the statewide water plan, Austin wanting to plan for the whole state of Texas. They start making these mandates. The water districts, instead of fighting these mandates, have just laid down and taken it. I do know one board of a local water district in this area that when they were talking about these restrictions where you're going to have to put meters in and limit pumping, they was not too kind in what they told the people in Austin to do. And being on radio, well, you can't say that. But they told them, shove it.
No.
And everything. And it's time that we have someone on this board that will tell Austin, no, the water district has been doing a good job for many years. We don't need to be limiting the amount of water they can pump. Mother Nature, in 43 years, I saw a lot of changes down there, Chad. I did. And I worked with the best group of farmers you ever saw in your life. I wouldn't trade them for anywhere else in the world. And they know what to do. You go out there and you take and come up with an idea. You show these farmers and these landowners that this is the right thing to do. They're going to do it.
Visiting with Dan Seale. Dan, in about a minute or so that we have left, tell people why they need to go out there and vote for you, and tell folks why you say you're different than your opponent.
Well, I guess the thing that I say is that I will not vote for water restrictions, and my opponent, he has voted for them at least 3 times. I consider this exempt well another restriction on you as a private owner. On that part of it, I will never vote for water restrictions. It's your right to have your water. You can't waste it and run it down the bar ditch and things like that. But the water district needs to get back to doing what it was originally intended to do, and that was to go out here and help conserve the water, protect our water from pollution and things of this nature. And that's it in a nutshell. A vote for me is a vote to retain your water rights.
All right, Dan Seale, candidate for High Plains Water District Precinct 1. Thank you again for your time.
You're very welcome, and it has been a pleasure.
Thanks for coming in.